Hey y'all, it's a wild and crazy Friday night over here. I'm settling in, doing my nighttime routine. Got my cozies on, my lights dim. Tonight is chamomile tea, not sleepy time tea, because I'm out. Have it in my mushroom mug. And this is kind of what bedtime looks for me these days. I did a lot of years where it looked a different kind of way every single night for probably like 15 years. And in the last couple years, that's not what it looks like anymore. And I told y'all in my last post that I would talk a little bit about what's changed. Well, a big piece of that was my work life, right? So I made space, not necessarily for sleep, but I made space in my life for my well being. And then I was like, okay, what does my well being actually look like? Well, I know from my own experience that I could eat all the organic food I wanted, I could exercise all I wanted, but if I wasn't sleeping, my health was trash. So for me, that felt like the most important place to start. And some of you already know this. You know this from raising your kids. You know this from your own experience that you can do everything else right, but if sleep isn't happening, you feel like trash. And that's true if your kids aren't sleeping. So for a lot of us, it means going back to basics, right? And I think I needed to take my own advice. I needed to treat myself like I was somebody else's baby. I am somebody else's baby. And put myself back to bed. But the other big shift for me, it was adding in a little bit of magnesium, adding in some meditation, adding in some stretching. I will say stretching has made one of the biggest differences. When I do my own personal beta testing, I'm like, is it tea? Is it not tea? Is it magnesium? Is it not magnesium? Is it stretching? Stretching is the winner for me. I encourage you to experiment for yourself. But it was a big reframe for me of this isn't a punishment. I'm not gonna argue or bargain with myself in the way that maybe some of us do with our kids about going to sleep, right? I don't know why do kids fight going to sleep. They're nuts. This is about being in devotion to myself. Like if I'm really truly about the well life, right? The balanced life. I don't know if there's really an actual definition of healthy. I think that's different for everybody. But if I'm trying to get there, I can't do it without this basic thing. And this basic thing can also be pretty basic in practice. It didn't have to be fancy. Now, some folks need more workup. Some folks do actually need the help of supplements or medications to get to a place where they can establish a routine. That makes sense. But for me, it really just took the devotion. Like, I am making this a priority. I am not making watching something on Netflix a priority. I'm not making my email a priority. I'm not making the dishes in my sink a priority, even though going to bed without clean dishes is hard for me. I made my sleep routine a priority. And now, because I've built it, I've done the reps, it comes more easily, right? I didn't build a bicep by lifting a weight once. I built it by lifting it 4 or 5 times a week for the last couple years. The same has happened with my sleep. So I just made it my devotional practice to do the reps. And that's true everywhere in life, but I'll tell you what, sleep is one of those real basic building blocks that if we don't do the reps, it ain't gonna happen. We can probably fudge our way out of exercise a little bit. We can fudge our way out of nutrition a little bit because, we put food in our bodies a lot. But this is our one opportunity to sleep every single day. We can't get around that. So if I were to say to you, as a doc, as a parent, as a person, if there's a thing to be in devotion to for your well being, get back to basics with your sleep. I want this cozy, jammy, sleepy time tea in your mushroom mug life for you as well.